The Decoders, Unlocking Mysteries, Secrets, and Timelines. Starring national media celebrity personalities, psychic medium Karen Reese, and empath and shaman Tracee Dunblazier. Together, they weave a world of intrigue by making connections, revealing secrets, and answering some of your most pressing questions.
Good afternoon, everybody. Guess what? This is not the Decoders, but I'm Tracee Dunblazier, and that is not Karen Reese. It is David Trotter. David Trotter is the publisher of Awakened magazine and now the producer of Awakened Lifestyle Expo. And so today on Chatcast, we're going to talk about him, his business, and what is an expo? Why do we go to them? What can we get from them, and how can we participate? So, welcome, David. It's so good to see you.
Thank you, Tracee. It's an honor to be with you.
Thank you. There's always something. See, I've got a little it's spooky month, and my computer is haunted. Did you see that? Everything's kind of moving. So tell us a little bit about, you have such an interesting history in all that you have done, but it's all led you to this place where you started a magazine almost, 2 years ago now?
A year and a half, yeah.
Year and a half.
Yeah.
So what led you to start Awakened magazine?
Yeah. So, part of my background, I actually was a Christian pastor for over a decade, and I came out of high school feeling called to do that. I went to, college and seminary and all the things, helped start churches here in Southern California. 2008, I hit a wall of burnout. I definitely was trying to fill a void of not enoughness inside of me. If I could grow that church big enough, help enough people, then I'll finally be somebody,
Yeah.
get that book deal. Then I'll be like, yes. It just doesn't work. And so I have spent the last, 17 years on a journey of deconstructing a lot of that programming and conditioning and theology and asking a lot of questions. And probably about 8 years ago, I started a podcast called Inspiration Rising, specifically for female entrepreneurs. And
Nice.
I found that a lot of women were just interested in the different things that I had done, whether it was ministry or I'd produced and directed feature films on social justice issues. And I thought, man, I love promoting what women are doing in the business context. And I had all these women coming on the show, did about 250 episodes.
Wow.
And many of them were coming on talking about Reiki and energy and healing and mediumship. And I'm like, these people are nut jobs. I mean, these are some weirdos. And simultaneously, I was kind of dabbling in some of those things and kind of asking questions. And very quickly, I found that they were actually my tribe and the people that I felt most comfortable with. And so I got into sound baths and meditation and breath work, and then started doing some education of myself in the area of mediumship and channeling, and my whole world opened up in the last 5 years. And so about 2 years ago, I started meeting so many amazing facilitators, healers, coaches like yourself. And I began to think, okay, I love promoting great things that are happening in our world. If I could create a platform that would amplify the voices of people like yourself, then that would lead to more healing, more love, more transformation on our planet. And that would really light me up. And so we chose the mechanism of an online digital magazine to do that and launch it about a year and a half ago. And it's been an amazing ride so far.
Yeah, it's if people haven't seen it, it's awakenedmagazine.com. Is that right?
Yep. Awakenedmagazine.com. Past tense. Awakened.
Yes, I awakened.
Yes.
Well, that's what I stuttered anyway.
No, that's what you said. People ask me, because you go, why did you name it that? And I actually have used that word Awaken Media as kind of like the name of my media company and all the films that I produced and stuff. And then I thought, man, I really would love to do Awaken Magazine. And ultimately, we just chose that name because that's what the URL was available.
Isn't that funny that it comes down to that?
Yeah.
That's hilarious. Yeah, if people haven't seen it, you guys do such a beautiful job. There's such continuity in your marketing and your presentation, and you really have the gift of pulling out the jewels out of everyone that you speak with and everything that you present. You really put a nice gloss on it where it's very uh, reachable, attainable. It makes sense. It's easy to receive. It's easy to look at, and it's been a pleasure working with you. So I know that you guys do other things too. You're starting this Awakened Lifestyle Expo. Tell me a little more about that.
Yeah, I have a passion for bringing people together in the same room in real life events. And I think that just comes from my background of putting on so many events. I mean, I literally, as a pastor, put on 3 events every Sunday, 9, 11,
Yeah,
and 6,
right,
and standing up in front of people and inspiring them. And I love the interaction with people. And so, that just felt like a natural next step for me, was
right.
to create an atmosphere where people could get together, experience community, and experience transformation, and simultaneously amplify the voices of people that I believe in, that are doing
Right,
great work. And
right.
so there are so many great spiritual events and consciousness, expos. And so we have a passion right now for Orange County, California, because that's where
Mhm.
we live, Mandy and I, my partner.
Yeah,
And Orange County is unique. It's a little different.
it
There's some
is.
expectations in terms of maybe a little bit more upscale,
Mhm.
and also there's a deep passion for physical wellness,
Mhm.
and interested in alternative, holistic solutions. A lot
Right.
of people, of course, are into yoga and breathwork and sound baths, and so my passion is to help people that are, the way I like to kind of boil it down to, is people that love Jay Shetty and
Mhm.
Gabby Bernstein, that are interested in spirituality and kind of just stepping their toe in the water, and like,
Right.
how can I bridge that world with, people that are maybe doing things a little different, like a little more
Right.
galactic, a little bit
Right.
more out there, and
Yeah.
bring those worlds
Push
together.
those. Yes.
Yes, I love
Yeah.
that.
Push
That's my
those
passion.
boundaries.
Yeah, yeah. And because that was my passion even when I was a pastor, is people that are just trying to figure out spirituality or God.
Right.
So there are so many people that are doing great things that are really far out there.
Right.
I doubt that'll be me. I'm the person who wants to help the person who's just finding their way.
Yes.
And so I ask the simple questions. I ask the questions of, like, how does it feel?
Mhm.
What happened? What's really going on inside you? You
Right.
know, because
Right.
I think those are the questions that kind of the average person is
Yes.
asking. And I'm really
Yes.
passionate about the mom who's got
Right.
kids in high school or college, and she's going, what do I do? Like, I don't know what's next for my life, and I'm having these intuitive experiences, and I'm not sure I want to be married to this knucklehead. And right,
Yes.
that's the
Yeah.
person who I'm passionate about helping.
Absolutely. It's very interesting. The whole thing about critical thinking has really been put to the side. And anytime you start to ask questions, you have to find answers, because those questions will just wander out in the ethers and collect energy and information until they become big enough that you have a realization. So,
Mm.
sometimes people ask questions, but they don't recognize the need to receive the answer for them.
Mhm.
There's never. It's so interesting. I was talking to somebody in my head today, which often happens, but it just kept occurring to me that there's never a time where there's not a solution or an answer to the things that we need or seek.
Mhm.
Ever, it's always there. And when you know that it's there, you'll find it more quickly. If you don't believe it's there, or if you're frustrated that it's not there fast enough, those are the obstacles that you must overcome to the belief that, hey, it's there for me, and I'm going to go somewhere and I'm going to get it,
Mhm.
right? and
Mhm.
and command it to come to be manifest, from the molecules around you.
Mhm. And it
So
seems like, go ahead.
go.
My apologies.
No, no, go.
Oh, I just was like, I think what's interesting about those answers is that oftentimes the universe does use other people to be
Hmm.
a conduit for some of those messages, that
Yeah.
maybe it's not you're giving me the answer, but you're saying something that causes it to arise within me.
Right.
And I love that the universe uses a plethora, a myriad of different voices, different
Yes.
styles. And
Yes.
so, that's what I like about us bringing together an expo or the people that we highlight in the magazine. It's like, there are certain people that you just resonate with and others that you don't, and that's fine. Just let that
Yes.
go to the wayside, right? But bringing
Absolutely.
those together, curating an experience, and I
Absolutely.
I kind of get to be the person that curates the voices that I like,
Of course.
and
Of
that
course.
that is fun. Yeah.
It's very interesting. My cover was 2 weeks ago. I did.
Mhm.
I worked with your magazine, and a woman on Instagram. She said that because my thing was about grief, and it was about the idea that the louder we grieve is the way the universe hears us.
Yeah.
And she said she had had a meltdown this day and was wailing and said,
Mm.
"I need the answer now." And she opened up Instagram and boop, my little face popped up.
Let's love that.
And she went to the article, and I mean, it was it so touched her that she had to reach out and tell me,
I love that.
and that people don't always take the time to do that. So it's a classic example of what we're talking about. It's really that we are making the commitment to know what it is that we want or need to know.
Mhm.
And so there's a lot of ways to receive that. So tell me about it, when I go to this expo. Let's say I'm a customer. What am I going to see there? Who's going to be there? Who will I see? And what can I do there?
We'd rather call you a friend, Tracee, not
Friend,
a
yes,
customer.
okay. I know. I knew when it came out of my mouth, I was like, well, I could just question myself, or I could let him do it. So thank you.
Well, I do want to create an environment where we're all friends. Like
Mhm.
there are no strangers. And
Right.
so there are things that we will do to try to create that environment. And that can be a little unnerving for introverts like myself. I actually am a
Hmm.
slight introvert where it's like, oh, don't make me talk to somebody else. And, but in reality, I want connection. I do want
Right.
connection. And so how do we create an atmosphere that's safe for everybody, but yet there are no strangers.
Hmm.
So you'll walk in. Of course, you'll get warmly greeted. You'll get your lanyard. You'll get your bag with a new print edition of Awakened magazine. We've got
Hmm.
a special print edition. We're normally a digital online publication, but we'll
Right.
release our second print magazine for
Hmm.
that event, which is just chock full of incredible
Yeah.
interviews and articles from our contributors. It's absolutely beautiful. It's
Yeah.
thick, it's glossy, it's amazing.
Yeah. It is
And you
very
walk in,
beautiful.
and we'll have about 40 vendors. It's in a
Hmm.
community center here in Costa Mesa. It's a big dome. It's a
Hmm.
beautiful facility. And so on stage, there will be some readers that you can get readings from. There will be different healers and coaches, of course, you can meet, and then lots of different products that you'll be able to uh, metaphysical
Hmm.
resources, alternative wellness, crystals, jewelry, clothing, sacred pendants. We definitely have just a wide variety. We do have some vendor spots still left,
Right.
specifically for people that are selling physical products.
Right.
We have a lot of healers and coaches, and that's an interesting thing that
Hmm.
I didn't even think about, Tracee, as a first-time expo curator. I
Right.
mean, like I got all these. I could have 40 coaches and healers in there,
Yes.
and everybody
Yeah.
would walk through and get a flyer, and then not have any shiny objects to look at. You know,
Yeah.
so
Absolutely.
yeah, it's fascinating. And then we have, of course, 10 workshops that'll be happening throughout the
Hmm.
day. We have the spirit room where, deeply spiritual conversations will be taking place. You're actually leading one of the workshops there on
Yeah.
crystals,
Yes.
your crystal allies. And then we've got another room that we're calling the energy room where we've got sound bath, breath work, yoga, somatic dance
Oh,
experience,
nice.
a somatic reparenting experience, so that's
Interesting.
more of like an active,
Yeah.
room. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then 7 o'clock, we actually at 4 o'clock, so 9:30 to 4 is the expo and those workshops.
Hmm.
We'll clear out that entire room, and then at 7 o'clock, we'll have a 300-seat venue for what we're calling the main event. And from
Right.
7 to 9, we have Sadi Simone. He is a
Hmm.
somatic dance expert. He has been on the doctors here in the United States on
Hmm.
Big Celebrity Detox, I think is what it's called. He's got his own show on Gaia. The guy is
Interesting.
incredible. And so he's going to be talking about releasing generational trauma and the
Mhm.
ghosts that we inherit. And then we have Ken Lloyd, who's a multidimensional healer utilizing light language. He's
Mhm.
doing a workshop earlier in the day, but that evening he will be doing a a healing experience
Mhm.
really for us. And then we will have Livia Devi, who is a channel from Romania, will be joining us. She channels a 7D Arcturian Council of Light. She's going to be bringing a channeled message that really
Mhm.
is an upgrade of our light codes,
Right.
preparing us to step into 2026. The whole
Right.
focus of that evening is releasing the things that no longer serve us from 2025 and
Yeah.
stepping into 2026 with authenticity and power. And then we'll have a little a panel
Mhm.
conversation where my crazy idea is, how do I integrate these three individuals that
Yes.
are coming from three different perspectives? How do we have a little conversation about that? And so the
Yeah.
goal is people walk out and, a lot of expos you can pop in for an hour, visit a
Right.
few booths, get one workshop, and then you're out.
Right.
I'm trying to create something that you actually could spend the entire day there receiving all of these different workshops
Mhm.
and coming to this evening experience
Yeah.
where you walk away feeling aligned and empowered and
Mhm.
energized. You've met some new friends because there are no strangers.
Right.
And you've got your bag full of Tracee Dunblazier books and Oracle card decks that you're
Yes.
walking
Yeah,
out.
there are many.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Well, that just sounds very exciting. And it's very unique that you're doing, headliners, if you will, that people can, in a very focused, very succinct way, have a profound experience and then get to go home and sleep it off. I mean, I process my best, at night when I sleep. And so that sounds really amazing. It's a lot packed into one day.
It is. And even the workshop leaders that we have,
Hmm.
Tracy, every one of these individuals, they are not newbies, right, at what they're doing.
Right.
Oftentimes you'll go to an expo and some of the workshops are a little bit more newbie-ish. I mean,
Right.
obviously, yourself, we have Kyle Lamb, who is the most prolific sound healer in Orange County. He is
Right.
everywhere. This guy is so popular. Sadi Simone will be leading a somatic dance workshop. This guy's got 500,000 followers on Instagram, 500,000 on
Right.
TikTok. Very popular guy who you can
Yeah.
come and be in the same room, connect with him personally. We've
Yeah.
got Bill McKenna and Liz Larson. He's been on Gaia 12 times talking about
Hmm.
cogno movement, and he's
Hmm.
utilizing those theories to help us do timeline jumping. Um,
Right.
I could keep going on with everybody else, but the point is
Right.
that these are well
Yes.
seasoned,
Yeah.
embodied experts that you get to come hang out with for the day.
Yeah. That's amazing. And for people who they may have a product that they want to sell, how can they, like, if they wanted to be a vendor and they had a product that was suitable for this demographic, how can they do that?
Yeah, yeah. So if you go to awakenedmagazine.com/expo, so awakenedmagazine.com/expo, all that information's there.
Hmm.
And,
It's
we've tried
also
to make it,
there's a crawler at the bottom that tells us too, just FYI.
yeah, awakenedlifestyleexpo.com. You can go
Mhm.
there and then click on the vendor tab, and there's some more information. And, we've tried to make these um, tables, and because it is a smaller environment, we have done more of like a table setup as opposed to
Mhm.
like a huge 10 by 10,
Right.
space. But, we're talking $250, $350 for the day.
Right.
So we've tried to make it super affordable.
Yeah.
As a first time expo, just because we want to cultivate, um, honestly, we want to cultivate community. We want to
Right.
cultivate trust. We want to cultivate excitement.
Hmm.
It really is. I don't, as someone who's trying to create this, you're trying to create something unique, something that feels a little different, something
Right.
that's specifically for Orange County. And
Absolutely.
we'll see what happens.
Yeah, we will. It's going to be very exciting.
Yeah, yeah, it should be fun.
Um, so, one last thing I wanted to mention. I know that you have a book launch coming up, don't you?
Yes. Yeah. So one of
Tell
the
me about
things
that.
that I encountered as I'm interviewing so many people, I am naturally drawn to their story of awakening to
Mhm.
consciousness, mindfulness, spirituality. I mean, I got to interview just this week a woman named Regina Meredith, who
Mhm.
has had her own show on Gaia, Open Minds. She's got over,
Right.
I think, almost 500 episodes, and she interviews all these people. So
Amazing.
everybody's used to hearing her interview people. Well,
Right.
I get to ask her all the questions about her journey
Wow.
of awakening. And
Wow.
she's got a great autobiography that she put out a number of years ago about her own journey. And so I get to ask oftentimes the experts their unique story that maybe they haven't told in a long time.
Yeah.
And so, anyway, my point is, I start hearing all these stories of awakening, and I think I need to put these in a book, because if I can get these in the hands of that woman who's kind
Mhm.
of asking, like, well, what is life all about?
Right.
Um, and I know I say that woman because that really is the center of our focus. Because if
Right.
we know that if women have life transformations, that it ripples across the family dynamic, it
Right.
ripples into their partners, into their kids.
Right.
And so we put one together. Uh, this is the first one that we put together. We call it Awakened Hearts. And so,
Beautiful.
yeah, it really is just a beautiful hardback book with all
Nice.
of these stories of transformation, and we really celebrate the author.
Wonderful.
And their stories. So anyway, that's the first one. The second one we've got coming out, Volume 2, comes out on Monday, November 10th. And that'll be available on Amazon, of course. Kindle's like $1.99. We do a big
Yeah.
book launch. This thing has 99, actually 98 five-star reviews and one
Beautiful.
four-star review.
Nice.
Still trying to track down that person. I go, what was it?
I'm
Can you
gonna
tell
get
me?
you.
It's okay. You can give a four-star review, but just like, I'm just
Absolutely.
curious. Like, what was it?
Absolutely. You know, the interesting thing about reviews is I find that you really need to have at least one, two, or three. And the reason why is because people won't trust you,
Right.
right? If there's not somebody who doesn't like you or
Right.
likes the work, that then, well, you become questionable.
Yes. So, Tracee, I don't know if you've left a review for this book, but I would encourage you to leave a one-star review to help us be more credible.
Yes, I will. I will absolutely do
That
that.
would be that'd be awesome. Oh my goodness.
Nice. Well, this has been so wonderful to be able to spend some time with you.
But I got a
Um,
question for you.
I have an answer.
Okay. What are you excited about right now in your life?
There is something being birthed. I just did a retreat. I was gone for almost 10 days to the Four Corners, um, Utah, Arizona, New Mexico, Colorado, and it was. I had to literally prepare. I've been cleansing. I've been losing weight. I've been doing all these things because this is going to be a whole big hiking thing, and I came back from it kind of almost out of my body. I mean, I even found today I had an acupuncture appointment, and I just am like sailing in the car, like, wait. So having said all of that, something new is being birthed. It's definitely a new book. It
Hmm.
definitely has to do with what we're doing on this planet. The what's the word I want? The continuation of our species, the health of the earth, what these times look like, and where we can possibly go in our relationship with the galactics
Hmm.
in a new way, in a new present way,
Hmm.
uh, beyond disclosure, right? Because there's going to come a time and a place where beings are going to come here, and nobody will be able to hide it. There will be
Hmm.
no hiding it. It won't be about being mad at somebody or being upset that this is happening. It is going to be a reality, and we're all going to have to decide the kind of humans we want to be.
Hmm.
Right? Do we want to respond in fear? Do we want to, respond open hearted? Do we, where are we?
Hmm.
And so this new project is going to be dealing with some of those things, but in the way that I do it, always reflecting back on our soul self and our emotional self. Like how prepared are we to, like you said, push those boundaries of what our belief systems are, and the
Hmm.
system that we, clearly our system here in on the globe, in the world, especially in the US, it's not working, and we're having to make some changes. And you know, it's one thing to protest and to stand up for yourself and to set boundaries, but it's also another thing to hold in your mind what you think it should look like.
Mm.
Because that's the one thing that's the thing that's going to get us over the finish line, is to have an idea in mind. You can't build a huge building unless you have plans. You need an architecture. You need to have a plan set up. You need to know where all the pieces are going to fit, or at least have an idea of what you want that result to look like. So I know you asked that little question, and it just went.
I love it. I love it. What's so fascinating about when you talk about having that plan, a couple of things come to mind. One is, how do we grieve the transition or loss of that which
Yes.
was, even
Yeah.
the vision, maybe even it's just losing a vision.
Right.
And then I don't know if it can happen simultaneously. You're the expert on this, but like, then move toward vision, right? So
Right.
it's grieving the past and then moving toward vision. And when you talk about having a plan or thinking what's possible, I just, as you know, got back from Egypt a couple of weeks ago, my first
Right.
time visiting Egypt. And I know it sounds simplistic because I can just kind of sometimes be a simple guy, but I'm sitting there meditating in one of the temples. And the primary message that I got in the midst of all of that was that anything and everything is possible.
Mhm.
Anything and everything is possible. I'm surrounded by a column that I cannot get my arms around.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, wait, this was built 4,000 years ago.
Right.
How did somebody even come up with the idea to build this place, much
Right.
less rally the resources and the people and the people power and the finances or whatever to make it happen? And then
Right.
that doesn't even, I'm standing in the next to the Great Pyramid, and these rocks are this tall, right? And so it goes back to your point of
Right.
having a vision. But
Right.
sometimes in the midst of the grief or the overwhelm of that which is not, it can feel like that next thing is not even possible
Right.
in the midst of the grief.
Right. I think a couple of things. Sometimes the what we attribute to divinity is really the stuff that we are unable to or unwilling to receive as a possibility. Because if we don't think that it's possible, and it's got to be the being that's higher than us, right? It's got to be this divine expression,
Hmm.
and we are in fact that divine expression. And there is so much technology that is here that is still hidden, because we've gotten sucked into the illusion of power, prestige, ego. I don't I hate using the ego word, because it's more than that, right? You know what I mean. It's more than that. There are ways in which we have enormous power within us, and there's a whole other level of integrity that we must have woven the fabric of everything that we are. That integrity has got to it's we had to have experienced some things, learned some things, and it's got to be able to hold that technology and the weight of the responsibility that technology requires,
Mm.
right? And that's kind of what's happening here, and we're beginning to do that. We're preparing ourselves for it. And to your point about grief clears the way to receive that vision.
Mhm.
And then ultimately, once we embrace the vision, then the plan can come. The plan is always the last thing.
Yeah,
The
yeah, yeah.
first thing is the transformation and the acceptance of the new vision.
That's so good. That's so good. It makes me ask, where do I actually need to grieve in my life? I'm always a visionary, like going, oh, what if we did this? What if we did that?
Right.
And then I go, uh, is
Hmm.
there something that I need to actually
Yeah.
release first in order for
Right.
it to be that next step? Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
There is. there's always something, even if it is just letting go. So one of the interesting things, so on this retreat, I was not the expert. And I went with this goal in mind to get a better angle of the story I was going to tell in this new project that I'm working on. And Spirit just kept saying, just surrender. And so the one thing that I found that I did I laughed 24/7. I mean, except for when I was asleep, but everything was hilarious. Normally, as an empath, I sit and I listen and I look and I go, that's funny. I talk about how things are funny and sometimes I laugh, but I'm usually in this very neutral place. But on this trip, man, everything was hilarious. I was laughing. It was infectious, so we were all laughing. And Spirit just kept saying, just surrender to what's happening. Don't worry about what's not happening. Right? Because I went with an agenda and that wasn't happening, but this whole other thing was happening. And I realized, 10 days of my life, I just laughed the whole time, and I didn't have to be the expert. I didn't have to be the one to answer the questions and to, respond in a particular way. And it was so fabulous and such a joy to have that experience. And then on my final day there, I got a dream that kind of gave me a little direction. So I got both. It was the best of both worlds.
Wonderful. I love that. Very fun.
Absolutely.
So good. I'm happy for you.
Anyway, yeah, so I'll certainly be talking more about that at the Awakened Lifestyle Expo.
I love
I'm going to be working with these. They are, it's agate, but it's volcanic fluorescent agate. So fabulous and such powerful stuff. It's like zzz, it's got a little a transformative vibration just when you hold it. And I'm really excited to work with people connected to grief and working with crystals and how to, deliberately choose a transformational experience to move forward. So
that is going to be a wonderful workshop.
yeah, it is. It's going to be great. So if people would like, please go to awakenedmagazine.com or you can go to awakenedlifestyleexpo.com. Reach out to David because he loves to chat with you. And if you're a vendor and you have stuff to sell and you want to fly your stuff in or you're local, we want to see you there. But please tune in. Is there anything else that you'd like to say, David, before we put a bow on it?
No, I think it's just an honor to be with you. It's an honor to share about this. I think my heart is just to help, especially people who I call conscious leaders, healers, and coaches to get their message out there. And I love doing that in all these different ways. That's the point of the magazine. That's the point of the event. That's the point of the books, is to amplify what you're doing, what you're saying, because then the ultimate goal is we're bringing more healing, more transformation, and more awakening to our planet. So.
Absolutely. Well, David Trotter of Awakened Magazine, thank you so much. And all of you in Chatcast, today we normally, you'll see this whenever you see it, and you will see there was a new introduction that I put the wrong intro, so I'll put the right intro on. And so people were wondering, like, what is she talking about? Anyway, but it was a pleasure for you to tune in with us today, and we'll see you again next time.
Thank you.